The night the question was asked, the snow hadn't decided whether to fall or not. It hovered in the air, soft and uncertain, just like hope. Evan Carter stood on his front porch, one hand gripping a mug of reheated coffee, the other tightening his jacket around himself. The Christmas lights on his small townhouse blinked unevenly, half of them had gone out again, and he hadn't had the energy or money to fix them. Inside, his 6-year-old daughter Lily was asleep on the couch, clutching a worn stuffed rabbit she'd named Snowflake. "Cold night," a voice said gently. Evan turned to see his neighbor, Claire, stepping onto her porch next door. She was wrapped in a red scarf, her arms full of neatly wrapped gifts. Claire always seemed put together, warm smile, steady job, family that visited every holiday. The kind of person who made Christmas look easy. "Yeah," Evan replied with a polite nod. "Winter's not messing around this year." Claire smiled and glanced at his flickering lights. "Hey, at least you tried. That counts for something." Evan chuckled softly, but his eyes drifted back inside, toward Lily. He took a sip of coffee that had long gone cold. Claire hesitated, then asked, "So? Christmas is almost here. What's your Christmas wish this year?" The question was light, casual. The kind people asked without thinking too hard about the answer. Evan didn't respond right away. For a moment, the only sound was the distant hum of traffic and the faint jingle of someone else's Christmas music down the street. Then he let out a slow breath, the kind that carried more weight than words. "I wish," he said quietly, "that my daughter doesn't notice how much I'm failing." Claire's smile faded instantly. Evan didn't look at her. His eyes stayed fixed on the window, where Lily's small chest rose and fell under a faded blanket. "I wish," he continued, voice steady but low, "that she still believes Christmas is magic, even if I can't afford to prove it this year." Claire felt something crack open in her chest. She'd known Evan was a single dad. Everyone on the block did. His wife had passed away 2 years earlier after a sudden illness, leaving him to juggle grief, parenting, and a life that had fallen apart overnight. But knowing facts and hearing the truth spoken out loud were two very different things. "I don't need much," Evan added. "No presents for me. No miracles. I just want Lily to wake up on Christmas morning feeling safe, feeling loved, not worried about why Santa skipped our house." Silence settled between them, heavy and uncomfortable. Claire swallowed hard. "Evan, you're not failing." He smiled sadly. "Tell that to the overdue bills taped to my fridge." That night, Claire couldn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying his words again and again. "I wish my daughter doesn't notice how much I'm failing." It echoed louder than any Christmas song. The next morning, Claire made a decision. She didn't tell anyone. Not her coworkers. Not her parents. Not even Evan. She started small. At the grocery store, she bought extra food, things kids loved. Cereal with cartoon characters, pancake mix, strawberries, hot chocolate packets. She told the cashier it was for a holiday project, but really, it was for one little girl who deserved magic. Then she called in favors. A friend who worked at a toy store gave her a discount. Another neighbor quietly contributed gift cards. Someone else offered a small bike their child had outgrown but barely used. Piece by piece, a Christmas began to form. Still, Claire hesitated. She didn't want Evan to feel pitted. Or proud. Or exposed. She wanted this to feel like magic, not charity. On Christmas Eve, the snow finally fell. Evan sat on the floor wrapping the only gift he'd managed to buy Lily, a used storybook he'd found at a thrift store. He wrapped it carefully, smoothing the paper like it was something priceless. "I hope you like it," he whispered, even though she was asleep upstairs. A knock at the door startled him. When he opened it, the porch was empty, except for a large cardboard box. Confused, Evan carried it inside. There was no name. No note. Just a red ribbon taped on top. His hands shook as he opened it. Inside were wrapped presents. Several of them. A small bike helmet. New winter boots, Lily's exact size. Groceries. Decorations.